How's it going, guys? Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central here. Wrapping up this final game here last night. Hawks and Kings, final game of the season. Um, Final score 5-4 in overtime. I wasn't really expecting that type of a game, but I'm glad we fought hard. Played hard. Numbers were all over the place for this game. Very, very, very weird game with the Hawks and the Kings. But let me wrap that up right now. Yeah, so final score for Hawks and Kings 5-4. Scoring was back and forth, basically the whole game, but mainly the third period there. Very, very weird game. Was not expecting that for the final game, right? Especially when the Kings played us very, very hard. We were looking pretty non-competitive against them the last two matchups we had against the Kings, and started out very, very well, right? At least skating wise. Skating was decent, but very, very weird how that went, right? But Hawks record for overall season 23-50 losses and 5 losses in overtime, but 23 wins for this season. So second worst in the lottery odds, and we will have a let's see the percentage on that 32.7%, according to the Tankathon. But I know the numbers are a little different depending on um, the thing that they add in here. So I guess it subtracts something from after the lottery here. But let's see here. What is the percentage? No, it's 13.5% to land number one, and we will see how that goes. Uh, Obviously, we will be wrapping up that lottery as well a little while from now, right? But let's cover this game here, Hawks and Kings. Let's check out the lineup for our final game. Just looking back at it, kind of a weird lineup, similar to the game before. Just didn't really understand it, but hey, it is what it is. So final game: 13 forwards, 5 defensemen. First line: Dickinson, Bedard, Kurashev. Didn't love that line really when we saw that this year. I don't think they mesh very well with Dickinson on that line, but Coach Luke wants to try it out for a little, so that's all cool. Line two: Foligno, Nazar, and Anderson. Nazar thought he played well once again. I think he skates. His skating is awesome, right? When he gets the puck, he's very fluid with it. He flows very well, and he looks to get up ice, right? Doesn't dance around much. Love how he plays. Absolutely love it. Line three: Reichel, Athanasiu, Tyler Johnson. Shout out to Reichel for this final game, right? I thought he played very well. Scored an awesome, awesome goal. Line four: Slaggert, Entwistle, Donato, and Blackwell was the extra forward. Look at the D pairings: Vlasic Jones, Tenori Magna. Just hate to see that, right? But Korchinski as the fifth defenseman. So a bit of a rotation here for that final game. I believe who was out? Was it Connor Murphy? So I guess he aggravated something, a little sore, but kind of weird how he came back for those like two other games, right? Seems like they didn't want to risk it for this final game, but then he already played like one or two games, so a little weird, right? But Soderblom in net. Thought he played a stout game, solid game. Nothing to complain about for him, but overall, just not a good season at all for Soderblom in net. But he finished on a decent performance, so good for him. And we'll see where that goes for this off season, right? Let's take a look at the numbers, game stats. Let me pull them up. The weirdest game in a while. Maybe a top five weirdest game this season, right? Shots on goal, 35 for the Kings, but 13 shots on goal for the Hawks. That's absolutely nothing. 13 is that's unbelievable, right? And somehow we scored 4 goals on 13 shots on net. I believe Uh, what's his name? Cam Talbot was in net for the Kings. So just a very weird performance for the goaltender there. But face-off percentage tonight or last night was 63.8 for the Kings, 36.2 for the Hawks. So you expect that going up against a very, very, very solid forward group, right? With the Kings, with Kopitar and Kempe and all those guys over there. Byfield, right? Awesome, awesome game from him. But power play percentage 1 for 1 for the Hawks. And 2 for 4 for the Kings, so 50% for them. Penalty minutes 8 for the Hawks, 2 for the Kings. 1 or 2 ticky tack calls on us, pretty soft calls. Didn't love those, but refs decided to call it, so didn't love that. Hits 22 for the Hawks, 14 for the Kings. Block shots 13 for the Hawks, 7 for the Kings. Giveaways 7 us, 8 for the for the Kings. Takeaways 10 for the Hawks and 4 for the Kings. So you see where we were able to take advantage of some of their mistakes, right? With the takeaways, and we limited our giveaways, so played a bit smarter, and we executed on some of their turnovers in their D zone. And it seems like everyone got on the board tonight, except for like our young guys with Nazar Bedard. Awesome to see Lucas Reichel score a awesome goal. A bit of a breakaway, but he did fight through like 2 defenders to get to the slot there. Awesome deke on Cam Talbot. Awesome move from him and showing off his speed. He is awesome speed. But let me pull up the scoring. So let's go over that really quick here. Let's pull it up. I believe Reichel was the first goal of the game, and he really needed that one, right? Just to finish the season on a high note with an awesome goal. And he will be joining the Ice Hogs for their Calder push, right, in the AHL playoffs. And let's take a look at the scoring here. So Lucas Reichel, he is in Rockford now, and to help out with the playoffs. So they will be playing tonight, I believe, but playoffs don't start for a little. Lucas Reichel, 5 goals on the season, right? 15 minutes in, awesome deke on Talbot, makes the game 1-0 for the first period, so only 1 goal scored in that first period. Victor Arvidsson, quality player that the Kings have there, right, from the Predators, assisted by Trevor Moore, solid player. Philip Deneau, solid player. About 4.5 minutes into that second period, he gets a nice slap shot on net, and he ties up the game 1-1. Quinton Byfield thought he had a really solid game against us. He has 20 goals on the season there. Power play goal for him. Nice tipping in front of the net. He makes the game 2-1 with 16 minutes into the second period there. Trevor Moore, he gets on the board like a minute later, and you hate to see those, right? Those back-to-back goals within a minute, right? It's terrible, 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 terrible. But a few mistakes by the young guys, and Trevor Moore able to slap it in there with about 3 minutes left in that second period. He makes the game 3-1. Going into the third period here, it was mostly Hawks, right? Just making that comeback about a minute and a half in. Nice snapshot from Tyler Johnson from Korchinski for his 10th assist of the season. So nice to see that. Tyler Johnson makes the game 3-2. Joey Anderson somehow scores next. About 2 minutes later, awesome goal from him. Joey Anderson, a bit of a move on Talbot as well from Landon Slaggert. So I believe that's his third assist of the season. So cool to see him get on the board there. So Joey Anderson, he ties up the game 3-3. And that was with only like 4 minutes gone in the third period there. Ryan Donato, he gets on the board about 3 minutes later. He tips in a shot from Entwistle. Awesome play by him. Ryan Donato, 12 goals on the season. Just a solid depth season, a guy that you could play through your bottom six and sometimes maybe on your second line. Don't love him in that spot, right? But mainly in your bottom six. But he is a versatile forward. He could do a lot of things. So cool to see that for him this year. Victor Arvidsson gets on the board once again in the third to tie up the game. To tie up the game 4-4 with about a minute and a half left. Good shot by him from Byfield and Kempe with 47 assists on the season. Geez, man. Adrian Kempe did not see those numbers from him. That's a monster season for him, right? Victor Arvidsson, that was only his sixth goal of the season. That doesn't seem right. Maybe he was hurt for most of the season or something, but that's weird. So he had two goals on the Hawks this game, and he has a total of six this year. That doesn't seem right. Kind of weird. That's really weird. Not sure, but Adrian Kempe, he had 47 assists, 28 points, or 28 goals this season. That's not just a monster season for him, but just a really, really good season overall. That's awesome for him. Um, so Adrian Kempe, he scores 6 seconds in overtime here. So we did go to OT 4-4, right? Got jumbled up at the faceoff, right? With Bedard and Kershev out there with Korchinski on the back end. And Kempe, he takes off. He's a very, very uh, speedy player, and he flies down the right boards and gets a nice snipe on net past Arvid Soderblom, I believe, top corner. Right corner, but left corner if you're skating down the right side. So top left corner snipe from him, 6 seconds in. Final was 5-4. Didn't love to see that, less than 10 seconds in. But at least we didn't have to stay up till, what was it, like 1:15, 1 o'clock at that point, Central Time. So very, very weird game. Nice comeback. Nick Foligno, he was pissed in the locker room post game. He basically just said the overall season wasn't good enough, right? The performance, the ups and downs, right? And he expects drastic changes. Whether it's just their habits or the overall roster. He even mentioned from, I believe Ben Pope put it out last night post game from the Chicago Sun-Times. He does a great job with that. But yeah, Nick Foligno very, very tuned into what's going on, and hopefully we do see some drastic changes, right? For the roster, let's get some competitive hockey going here. Let's start building up to some competitiveness, right? Let's see a little more wins now. We have to get this rolling a bit, and would love to see a nice addition or two to the team. But let's take a look at post game. So final 5-4 in overtime, loss to the LA Kings. Not much post game here from the reports, but Foligno, yeah, basically what I just said with the changes. And so that pretty much wraps up the post games for this season. But we'll be back soon. Hopefully, get Joe back on here soon. And Max to talk some prospects and wrap up this season, 2023-2024 season. Overall record, 23-50 with 5 overtime losses, but don't really look into the number that much. But the lottery is something that we'll be keeping an eye on, definitely. Would love to get number one, right? Anyone would, with Macklin Celebrini coming out, but we will see where the balls fall. And we'll be back very soon to wrap up the overall season, right? The performances, the numbers, and we will definitely check in on that very, very soon. So we'll see you then, and let's go Hawks.